All right, we are inside a week from the NFL draft. Landry Locker, Cody Stoots with you. It is S&L, and we are talking about DeMeco Ryans' crush. Potential crushes for DeMeco Ryans. Who could DeMeco Ryans fall in love with on draft day? It's really just based on context clues, much like we do with Caserio. But I do think there are a couple of guys, Cody. Plus, could the Texans have a chance to get one of the 5 most talented guys in the draft and put the Nick Caserio draft for need type of thing to practice? And would DeMeco be open to it? Plus, a trade with a team that I don't think too many teams would want to trade with, but we do have a recent history of that. It is S&L, though. Cody Stoots, Landry Locker. Who do you think DeMeco Ryans is fascinated with in this draft? I think there's one pretty obvious answer.
I mean, it's got to be the Will Anderson of the Alabama offense. It's guard Tyler Booker from Alabama. I mean, he fits everything. He is the exact type of guy that could walk into a room, talk football with the Texans, and they would just be like, "Oh, he's so great. He said everything right, and the tape is good." And so I do think there's an element of the falling in love with these guys is getting to know them, but they have to have good tape. Like Will Anderson could be the nicest guy in the world. If he's a 7th round pick, who cares if you fall in love with him? But Will Anderson was one of the best pass rushers in that draft. So they fell in love with him, knew they had to get a quarterback. They end up with both of those guys. So Booker, he checks the tape box. It looks good at Alabama. And then when he comes in, he says all the right things. He's done all the right things in his time playing football. That's just the most, to me, box check. They'd fall in love with him. They do maybe a little extra to get that guy type of situation. Because I think if they're going to be a crush, they get to the level where you do a little extra, which is like, I mean, they did a lot extra with Will Anderson, but I think they do a little extra to get one of those crushes if they could.
Yeah, and here is, I mean, this is the prime example. Will Anderson's already the face of the swarm. This was Tyler Booker at the combine. This was him talking about, well, I'll let you hear.
For me to be a captain at the University of Alabama, it meant the world to me just because of the captains who came before me. So I remember my freshman year, the captains were Bryce Young, Jordan Battle, and Will Anderson. All 3 of those guys, they gave their all. They showed me what it meant to lead, especially Will, just hearing how vocal he was and seeing how he wasn't afraid to call anybody out and how he was the guy on the team. That's something I always wanted to be. So I just took a lot from what I learned from Will and added that to my repertoire of leadership. And I lead by knowing who I'm leading. Like you can't lead everybody the same, just as you can't coach everybody the same. Some guys react well when I get after them, like, hey, you're not practicing hard enough. But some guys will shut down, or even will shut down when they hear that. So first and foremost, I have to know my teammates. I have to have a natural love for my teammates, and then I know the best way to lead.
All right, so that's music to DeMeco's ear, and it's connected to someone that they already consider the face of the swarm in the building. So this is kind of an easy DeMeco potential crush.
He went on to say, I'm also aware that I'm not walking into a locker room and leading a bunch of guys who are, 30 something years old and have a wife and kids and have been doing this for 10 years, which I know which is probably another like buzzword thing that they would like. And then another element of the crush is they probably get rave reviews from the guy who knows him. It's like Will Anderson's probably like, yeah, I love that guy. Just like I'm sure the other Bama guys were talking about Will before the Texans drafted him. Like, oh yeah, no, love that guy. Like he's awesome. So it checks all the boxes from a crush standpoint.
Yeah, and I mean the meeting. I don't want to say the meeting's not unauthentic because he seems like an authentic guy. So that's not what I'm saying here. But I mean, a lot of times when you have someone who works at a place or knows a place and someone that is going to interview or talk to the boss, it's like, hey, he really likes this, so maybe bring that up. Hey, we really like this. He hates this, so don't bring this up in the interview. So I think even if he didn't know Will Anderson, I think he's the type of guy that DeMeco would like. But let's just be honest. Like he probably got a little bit of a cram session with Will Anderson before he did the interview. Let's just be real about that.
Well, and your analogy is perfect because if you've got to fake it to say what the guy wants to hear, usually they figure out that you're faking it or you've been sort of prepped or coached on it. It feels to me like everything Tyler Booker says, he probably lives. And then he probably got a nugget or two from Will that really kind of slid in there and really got, that 1,000-watt DeMeco Ryans smile going. And I just, they talk so, and then I heard Matthew Golden talking about his interview with the Texans. He's like, we already talk ball. He's like, they just want to get to know me. They want to talk about me. And he joked that Tank Dell jumped in on the meeting for a minute and said hello, but I don't think they bring those guys in, put a grease board in the corner, and they're like, draw this up, tell us what you did here. It really does feel like they're clocking the personality and the mentality more than the football acumen of these guys.
Yeah, I guess Jerry Jones FaceTime Golden's mom when he was there. I saw Kay Adams put that out there. So, yeah, different stuff.
I tell you what, these players still respect the hell out of Jerry. There's still juice to Jerry Jones being in that room.
Dude, it's a larger than life experience when you meet Jerry Jones. I have a picture of me like listening to him just going, huh. Like in a media scrum, I'm like, okay, whatever you say. Trill Kick X on the super chat. You ain't never hate. Swarm. He says, "Sup boys, got a lot of questions today. First one, does Will get a 5th-year option being if the last year?" Yeah, he's 3 years away from that. So he's going to be in 3. You still pick up the 5th-year option typically when you get the contract, I think. But yeah, I mean, any first-round pick has a 5th-year option. So
yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. We just went through this with Stingley. His new money is $30 million a year over 3 years. The actual new money, like the contract extension, applies after the 5th-year option, after he plays, his 4th season. So it's like you still get that money. Obviously, they move signing bonus money up and they do things like that, but it's still, and I got to imagine whatever Will gets paid if he has another really good season, the 5th-year option is going to be lower than the actual average annual value of the extension. So yeah, he gets it and he'll play under it but he'll have that long extension that'll kick in right after it as well.
Yeah. So here's my question on this, because I don't want to just say DeMeco Ryans is going to like this guy and, leave it at that, because we've kind of been talking about that for a while. But my question is, let's say that DeMeco likes Booker a lot and Nick Caley and Cole Popovich I don't know,
Connerly,
someone else,
sure.
Who's got the say there? I mean, they're obviously going to have to talk it out, but who's got the say and who should have the say? I would think you would want the OC and the O-line coach to have the say, but it is DeMeco's team. He really is the face of the franchise. His shelf life exceeds any non-player and probably most players. So I think there's a good chance that DeMeco wouldn't overrule and be like, I don't think he's a dictator at all. I think he's willing to make the right decision, but I do wonder how that works and how that dynamic works.
I go back to something that John Harris talked about the other night when he was on the Super Stream with us, where he says, you be careful with coaches' inputs when the head coach is going to be here for a long time. DeMeco Ryans is the guy that hopefully is coaching for the next decade plus for the Houston Texans. The hope is Nick Caley's a one-year wonder because he has one of the best offenses in football and somebody else makes him a head coach. So I think that factors into where they build it in. And I do wonder exactly how much the head coach likes this guy and everybody else's thumbs up on this guy. That has to go into how they build the board, wouldn't you think? Like how they stack it, how they put the guys in their little groups, and the way Caserio always talks about it. So I have to imagine, if DeMeco Ryans loves a guy, that gets a little gold star next to it, but it's also taken into account in the overall stacking of how they put some things. But if it all came down to, okay, make the call, DeMeco gets whatever DeMeco wants, I would tell you.
Yeah, he's the top voice, I would say. It's really just gonna it's kind of like it's like O'Brien had the final say. I think DeMeco does, but I don't think DeMeco craves the final say, if that makes sense. I don't think it's overly important to him.
He would hope that everybody around him would arrive at the decision prior to him having to make the decision.
Because in the perfect world, you don't even want to worry about the offense. Like, I'm not saying that, like, in a perfect world, like, I think Andy Reid has no problem saying, hey, Spags, you worry about the defense, I got the offense. I don't think Andy Reid is sitting in defensive meetings and saying, hey, this is how we should attack it. He might have a little opinion, but I think that's probably like his ideal scenario. Like, I don't think, like, Nick Sirianni this year, when they brought in Fangio, I would imagine that he enjoyed having to do less and not having to worry about it as much. I think because DeMeco said last year that his goal was to listen to his coaches more. Mm-hmm. And it was like, okay, well, got to get the right guys. It didn't
listen to Bobby and Strauss are a little too much.
Yeah. So, I mean, or he would, I mean, we don't know what the dynamic was, but I think that's probably the ideal situation. Now, here's the other name that I think DeMeco will like, and Emeka Egbuka is on this list too, and we've talked about this. But Emeka Egbuka, I think you can put him on the list of DeMeco crushes. That goes without saying. He's got similar relationship with CJ that it appears that Will and Booker have. I mean, Harris said it the other day, like that it's a very godly team, kind of a godly culture. Don't think it's like the end all be all, but it damn sure doesn't hurt you. So I think Egbuka would be another guy that DeMeco would probably like. And on top of that, he's a hell of a player. So there's that. And he would probably be the best wide receiver at 25 available, if we're being honest. Like, I don't know that Booker will be the best offensive lineman available at 25. That's kind of debatable. But I think he might be the one that DeMeco likes the most.
I do believe Booker will be the best because I like him better than Zabel for the Texans. I like him better than Connerly and certainly Josh Simmons from Ohio State. So if he's available, he might be. If the Texans like him, it stands to reason there's plenty of teams ahead of them that like him too. You know, so it's not like they like. You know, this isn't what Kahale Waring, where they're the only squad in the world that likes the guy.
The water polo tight end. Shout out to
water polo tight end. Probably a damn model somewhere.
What do you mean? Was he a model? Did he look like a model?
I mean, he looked good on the program, but it didn't look good when he got on the field.
What?
You ever heard looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane?
I didn't know that Kahale Waring was a model. You're the first person I've heard say that.
All right, cool. Well, we can just move on because you're being a dipshit as usual. Cody said something kind of goofy. Let's make fun of him.
Back on the soup with the trill one.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Irv Smith model or no?
No.
Okay. Irv Smith.
Too many tattoos.
Irv Smith. Irv Smith is he just re-signed with the Texans, 1-year deal. I'm probably, like, people are asking if that impacts whether they take a tight end or not.
Irv Smith doesn't impact anything.
He impacts nothing, and I very strongly doubt that he got much guaranteed money. I don't know if there's any consequence at all for cutting Irv Smith in camp.
I don't care if he got a fully guaranteed contract. There's no guarantee that Irv Smith's going to be on this football team.
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, there's zero impact on that. But
no,
yeah, not a model though, according to Cody.
I'm looking here on Wikipedia. After football, Kahale Waring took up underwear modeling.
Okay, so there you go. That's all you had to say. So there you go. So there was detailed information there on that. There you go. Yeah. So you called it.
Yeah, I made that up, but okay.
That's not true?
No, that's not true at all.
It's like, what a guess. Okay, yeah. All right. That was a good read right there. You got me off sides. You got me. Trill back on the soup. Let's get this thing going. Do they find a replacement for Hunter in this draft? Nah, he's got 2 years left. They got bodies, but he's got 2 years left. He got the 1-year extension. I don't think they're opposed to adding more edge guys. I don't think it's very low on the priority list. You have 2 Pro Bowl guys there. And you have quite a lot invested in those two guys. So I don't know that you really replacing Hunter would be kind of tough. So I would say no. I would say you're pretty good in that situation.
I mean, it's you're not drafting a guy where they would draft a guy and be like, this is the guy to replace Danielle Hunter. You might draft a guy and say, hey, we've got a couple of edge guys who are on 1-year deals, and this guy, we hope a year from now is going to be a better football player than them, and we put him in there, and then maybe best case scenario, the guy's a guy you can rely on when Hunter's there. But you can't. That's just not the way to look at a third or fourth or fifth or sixth round defensive end. Like, you can't be like, well, we'll just have this guy replace Hunter. That's what dumb teams do.
Yeah. They're not too concerned about that. So there's that other potential DeMeco Ryans crushes. Now, this one's interesting because I think that DeMeco Ryans would probably love to commit to Ibuka or Booker. I think he would have no hesitation from a talent standpoint and an intangible standpoint of committing to either one of those guys. I think when he puts the tape on, assuming that I'm sure he's going to watch the tape, I think it's very easy for DeMeco Ryans to lustfully look at Walter Nolen's tape. In fact, I would argue that the Walter Nolen tape and the Walter Nolen skills might actually be the most intriguing, attention-grabbing tape that DeMeco Ryans watches in this whole draft. I would say, I mean, it's exactly what he needs. It's a guy who was the number one recruit in the entire nation when he went to A&M. It's a guy who was a first-team All-American at Ole Miss. There's questions about potential maturity issues. So just lustfully watching, I don't think there's any doubt that DeMeco Ryans can fall in love with Walter Nolen. The question is, would he be willing to commit to him if he fell? And that's a big if, but it's more likely than any other. Like, if we're talking about top 5 just talents, you can't even draw out a path to any of these guys falling to the Texans at 25. If we're just going to list the top 5 most talented guys in this draft, maybe if you want to say McMillan is a top 5 talent, maybe, but Nolen is a guy who I don't think he's swarmy right now. I think that's safe to say, but, and this might be something we asked DeMeco on Monday, can you develop into swarm? Like, if the guy maybe
great
has
question.
a maturity
Great
issue,
question.
Are y'all willing to maybe like see past potential immaturity, and can you develop into the right kind of guy, like as a young man? Because if the answer is yes, and that guy's there at 25, I mean, I think you really, I mean, we saw Jeffrey Simmons fall for other reasons to the Titans, but if this guy's there at 25, I don't think he will be. I don't think there's a chance in hell. Then I know I've been anti-defense, but good Lord.
I'm looking around the draft, and if you could find me 10 guys better at football than Walter Nolen, I'd be surprised. Like, I really would. Like, he's what he does, and when he's on, and his excellence is about as good as any of the top guys at any position, and it's some of the best at his position. To me, he's the best defensive tackle in the draft. He's better than the Michigan kid, Mason Graham, and I think he's better than the Oregon kid as well. Some of the stuff that looks bad from the outside, like, I think you can explain it. So it's like, oh, well, he chased the bag going from Texas A&M to Ole Miss. Well, okay. Or two of his defensive coaches, including his defensive line coach, left. One got fired and one left for another job. And it's like, guys leave because their coach left or their position coach left. Like, they leave all the time. Just so happened Walter Nolen's really good at what he does.
And he got a lot of head coach too, by the way.
And he got a lot of money for it.
Yeah, well, his head coach kind of left too.
Yeah.
He didn't want to play. He probably didn't want to play for Tickle Me Elko.
Sure. And it's like, okay, like, did he have some trouble moving around from program to program, in high school, and then did he jump around in college?
Played for 3 high schools.
Yeah. So, okay, can you explain all that? Like, that's a pretty easy conversation when you're sitting with the team. And he told me, I asked him at the Senior Bowl, I said, what do you want to accomplish while you're here. And he's like, I want to talk to teams and I want to dispel the rumors and the incorrect notions about me.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a loaded answer, because that means there's a lot out there about you. And then to, have his say in it and say, well, that's not true. That's not why it happened. Like, then it's up to the team to believe the guy. If he's there at 25, they're absolutely going to have that conversation.
Well,
because DeMeco Ryans constantly talks about the defensive line. Every great team I've been on had a great defensive line, the defensive line. And you put Walter Nolen in the middle with Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, and that secondary that they've built. And I don't know how teams are moving the football.
Well, that's the question that's the real thing is, and I'll ask him this on Monday. Like, can you develop into being the right kind of guy? And is it something that you guys ever entertain, given the fact that these are kids and they're not, fully developed? And I won't even use myself as an example, because I mean, that's Captain Obvious type of stuff. But even if it's not, he says he wants to, he told you at the Senior Bowl that he wanted to get rid of the perception of him and rumors. Even if it's true, he's not. I would hope that if you're going to play professional football, you're not going to be the same guy at 25, 26 that you are at 21. So, I mean, there's a lot of examples of guys who maybe they weren't mature enough. There's also examples of guys where the red flags were there and you thought you could fix them and they didn't work. So like I say, examples and exceptions are always the way of the draft. Those are the only two certainties, but I just don't know how, think about it too. The defensive line room, you'd be putting Walter Nolen in, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, Derek Barnett. Yeah. Good ass mentors.
Mario Edwards. And then, my goodness, Will Anderson, all he can talk about is how important Sheldon Rankins was to his career getting started the way that it did. And now Sheldon Rankins is back on the team. And it's okay, now you drop a 20-something-year-old kid into that room, and he just kind of looks around at all these guys that are pros that go about their business. And it's okay, maybe you'll kind of catch up. You'll get in lockstep with those guys.
And I think that's the interesting thing. And what is the point of badass leadership if you're always making their job really easy? If you're always if character's always it's a non-negotiable, and I don't think it's a non-negotiable here, but if it's a non-negotiable, then what's the point of having these just elite leaders if you're bringing in guys that are easy to lead? And I think there was kind of a perception with the Texans. I think Caserio did say something a couple times. We're not looking for all choir boys. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean that would probably be kind of a Nolen perception. But if in the past, I think before DeMeco, we probably could have just completely dismissed Stephon Diggs. I think there's no way they trade for Stephon Diggs. Zero chance. I don't know that they trade for Joe Mixon. And I mean, there's just one certain type of guy, and they're not very forgiving of anything that might happen when someone's young. There was no chance they were going to take Jeffrey Simmons, when he was coming out of college. So I think the potential pool of players and the forgiveness and understanding, I think it's extended, but I don't know how much it's extended and how much they want. Because I'll put it this way: I don't think Isaiah Bond has a chance to be a Texan.
No,
and I'm not saying what he did or didn't do. I don't think they're going to mess with that.
Well, there was worry about him prior to that coming out.
And I don't think that they're in any case going to trade for Tyreek Hill.
No.
So I think I'm not sitting here saying they're going to open the floodgates, but I do wonder what is the willingness to maybe make someone swarm.
It's a guy like Walter Nolen, it's worth a shot. With a guy that good, it's worth taking a risk. And then if it's a late round guy that is a minimal investment, you take the risk too. They tried with Deontay Johnson. It didn't work. Okay, see you later, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson's also not very good at football. If Deontay Johnson was, I don't know, Amon-Ra St. Brown, they probably would have let him sit in the corner and pout and bitch and moan and whine and cry, and then they'd run him back out there the next week.
Yeah. I agree with that. The Deontay Johnson, that's another good name that you bring up. And I think I think it's open. And let's just say this: Nolen doesn't have those type of issues, so don't get that twisted. I'm just talking about developing swarms. So it's not anything like I haven't seen anything crazy. I just wonder, could DeMeco crush over him? Now, is he going to be there? Don't know, but if he is, I think it's someone you got to check out. Take a close look at.
Absolutely. I think there's a couple of other guys that just fit from like that'd be like crush worthy, just from like how good they are at football, and then sort of what we do know a little bit about them. Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle from Michigan, I wouldn't draft him at 25. I don't feel like he's worth that investment over doing something else. Landon Jackson, the defensive end from Arkansas, probably a second round guy. So again, maybe doesn't totally fit them. And then Jack Kaiser, the linebacker from Notre Dame, probably a day 3 guy, but that's as DeMeco Ryans as it gets from a linebacker. Like, can cover, run around, played a little safety in the Senior Bowl, so he's got some versatility and some athleticism to him. NCAA football's leading tackler last year, former special teams guy, like I think nearly 1,000 special team snaps before he became a starter for the Fighting Irish. Like, that's exactly what they want in a day 3 guy.
Trill asks on the soup again, what y'all's way too early offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year draft?
Mm-hmm.
It's like predictions or what?
My offensive rookie of the year is Genty.
Genty, yeah.
And if it's not Genty, then I'd try to get good value on Tyler Warren.
I would just take Hampton. Like whoever.
Hope for value.
Whichever running back goes second and ends up on a decent team, I would like.
Good number. If Amarion Hampton's the starting running back for the Denver Broncos, there's a chance he's got 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns in him.
Yeah.
So
that would be, I would make that bet. I would go probably whatever the second running back is. If they go in the 20s, that would be my pick.
And then defensive rookie of the year, if Abdul Carter went to the Giants, I'm picking Abdul Carter. Just because his job's going to be a lot easier than some of the other places
he is
land.
Little love. I know it's just solid. Like it's just solid. Like we know he's going at the top of the draft, but there just hasn't been much talk about him. I'm watching every damn show there is. I guess it's just not exciting. We're hearing more about Shedeur Sanders and Jackson Dart, which is quarterback talk, than we are him, which I think is appropriate. I don't think there's like a disrespect. It's just this guy was supposed to be the.
Yeah, imagine if New England got on the clock with pick 4, and all of a sudden Abdul Carter's there and Mike Vrabel's his coach. Like that's a great situation for New England.
He's taking him, yeah. Trill again. Shout out to Trill. Hope to see you the 26th if you're in town at Karbach. 11 a.m. draft party. Post the super streams. Is Swarm teachable or is it just in you? Pause. I don't know. It seems like all the guys that they bring in usually are swarmy. Like, far as rookies, like it feels like the rookies kind of sound swarmy the second they bring them in. Like,
yeah.
Who's the most questioned rookie that they brought in? Like, just from like an effort or like fit standpoint. And I'm talking DeMeco and Caserio. Like the biggest question marks that I've heard about rookies that they've brought in were like, can Kamari Lassiter play outside? But there hasn't been like this guy's effort or this guy underachieved or anything like that. I mean, they're all very swarmy.
They've
Tank Dell size, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
there's not like any. Well, he didn't play hard. Like that's why there's that. It seems like that in the last 10 days, and Primetime is kind of the ringleader of it. Shout out to Primetime in the chat, but he does have a lot of company. It's definitely not a ride for one, but there's a lot of talk of burden. that would be one of the first guys that they question, where the effort and the fall off and stuff that DeMeco and Caserio brought in with him, and Nolen would be too, for whatever the questions are. But there really hasn't been like an example, as we talk about DeMeco crushes, of someone who just has, well, you know, he's such like McMillan too. Like these guys that we're talking about, like the McMillans, the Burdens, Nolen, for whatever reason, like those types of question marks, not massive, not like deal breakers.
They would be a unique selection compared to the past 2 years because of the reasons they fell. Like Kamari Lassiter fell because he wasn't fast. Walter Nolen, Tetero McMillan, or Luther Burden, they fall because there's concerns outside of the physicality of the football player.
Another crush, and I think this is the 4th straight stream I've brought the guy up, but I think DeMeco and Caserio would like Jake Majors. When you're the leader of that many alphas, kind of maximize your talent. You're among like guys who are way more highly touted than you. I feel like you kind of get a little bit love and respect from DeMeco.
I do wonder if Majors would fit like if he would fit like the height weight profile, or there's so much intangibles to him that it's like, we'll throw that out and just bring him in, get him in the building. He works hard.
I was bringing this up yesterday, and this isn't really on the DeMeco front, but if I just asked you right now, who is better at football? No factors or anything like that. Who is better at football right now? Because I'm bringing this up because Majors is a center. Juice Scruggs or Jared Patterson, who's better? And neither one of them are good. If either one of them is your starting center, you're not getting what you want out of the position. But which one is just better at football?
I like Jared Patterson more than Juice Scruggs.
Does it not seem like, I brought this up yesterday, I don't have this is just the eye test. Does it not seem like there's a lot less confusion when Jared Patterson's at center than there is when Juice Scruggs is there?
It just, I mean, they clearly pass blocked better when they made that change.
Okay.
So
I was just asking.
I would say, you know, I like the offensive line when Patterson was the center more than I liked it with any of the other centers they've had over the past 2 seasons.
Yeah. JB just doesn't really. It's rough when he's out there. Really rough. Juice Blacklock, if you didn't know.
Jesus, man.
What? What?
Hey, you want to hear something? I just looked this up because I was curious here. You want to hear something crazy?
Yes.
This is just from a like who they are from a like physically compared to offensive linemen as a whole. Jake Majors actually grades it out as a higher percentile physical specimen than Tyler Linderbaum does.
Yeah.
Like Linderbaum,
he's not Tyler Linderbaum, I can promise you.
No, I understand that. But like, as you think about a guy, it's like, okay, Jake Majors, he's maybe not the biggest, strongest, fastest guy. Tyler Linderbaum was a bottom 10 percentile height, weight, arm length, wingspan guy. And Majors has like a little bit better measurables in some of those places. And like, again, they're not the same level of player, but a player can be a good enough football player that you can ignore. He's a little bit smaller. He's a little bit.
Jake Majors just feels like a guy who plays. And then when me and you were damn near in our 50s or into our 40s or whatever, we're talking about him 8 years from now saying, man, yeah, he's still here. Yeah. You know, and Jake Majors is, ended up being an okay player.
And I go back to, I mean, they were comfortable having David Andrews in the building in New England, and he hung around. Next thing you know, he's the starting center for the New England Patriots when Tom Brady's the quarterback, and they trusted him to do that. And they're not afraid to. It felt like Cole Popovich, that crew from an offensive line coaching standpoint, they're not afraid to give a late round guy an opportunity.
Dude, if you're trying to revive your offensive line, and this has turned into a Jake Majors program, I promise this isn't by design, but I'm going to hammer this point home. because I think it matters to them, and we've seen them visit with him, and the center position sucks for the Texans. So if you can be a 3-star recruit and 3 offensive linemen who flip their commitment because Quinn Ewers is transferring to Texas and they're getting 6 figures or whatever to flip their commitment. If you can be the leader of those guys and you can be the leader of all these guys that Nick Caserio drools over, then that has to be somewhat impressive. And it's not like anything that's not public knowledge, but if you're a DeMeco Ryans, Nick Caserio, and you're trying to change your offensive line and have a certain mindset, you know what type of guy they like. You visit with the guy and you were at the pro day and you're kind of salivating over what they got. Like there's a lot of stock in that, man. Like there's a hell of a lot of stock in that.
It's low risk, high reward. Like it's not like you're spending a first or a second or third or fourth round pick on a guy like Jake Majors. You're spending a late day 3 pick on him. He was a really good football player in college. He's played a lot of football. He played at a big program and he had a lot of success against big programs. Well, that's everything the Texans like in a prospect. And if he's not any good, okay, ho hum. He was a 6th round pick, 7th round pick that didn't work out. You move on from him after a couple of years.
What if you're Linderbaum? What if Nick Caserio has like some Tyler Linderbaum remorse? What if he's got that TLR? He's like, God, I went with the guard and I like Linderbaum, but I overanalyzed it. Now there's this like guy who's more athletic. He's damn sure you're never going to get Tyler Linderbaum. I can promise you. That opportunity doesn't come along very often, my friend. And the teams like Baltimore seem to be the ones that fall in the lap. But what if Nick Caserio has like that slight? Man, he's the one that got away.
I mean, it'd be nice. You take it if you could get half a Linderbaum or a quarter of a Linderbaum from a 7th round pick, you're getting a really good deal.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like I'm not sitting here saying Majors is great. I'm just saying what I'm talking about the intangibles, which is
Quinn Ewers is talking all the time about.
Everybody does.
Majors helped me a ton. He took a lot of stuff off my plate. He helped me with the offense, helped me organize things, helped me call it. It's like, okay, like he checks all the boxes, and like, what are you going to spend your 7th round pick on? A kicker? I mean, don't do that.
Trill Kicks says he's going to be at Karbach on the 26th at 11 a.m. It says he'll be there. He might need name tags for the chat. So, yeah. Or not. Maybe just like don't even tell people.
Maybe nobody wants to stand by all their comments.
Yeah, you want to be safe there. So there you go. That's really the DeMeco guys, the end of it. And there was kind of the Jake Majors hijack as well. But the Nolen thing I think is interesting. And I'll ask DeMeco Monday. I think my question is just basically going to be, can a guy turn into Swarm? How much like is there development? Like how much you willing to look past it and all that? Hopefully he gives a good answer on that. I don't see why he wouldn't. He's not going to dismiss that, right? Is he going to be in dismiss mode?
Not the first day of offseason.
Is he going to be in overcompensate? Is he going to be in overcompensate like Hardo mode? Are we going to get that, DeMeco?
No, I don't. Not in first day. He's going to be excited. They're going to be in. We've been in the building. Guys are working out. We got great, attendance. No, it's not going to be not like that.
Well, it's just we're just keep it close to the vest. We're very pleased with the guys we got here. What's the most Caserio pick this year?
Moving back,
which I support.
It's not really.
Shout out to Trill again.
I don't know that there's a Caserio pick that you would really want to see because as many wins as he's got some significant losses, but his ability to maneuver to get exactly what they want and who they want, it seems to be pretty solid. I mean, they were able to make the Will Anderson thing happen. They made the Tank Dell thing happen. They made the Juice Scruggs thing happen. That didn't work out for them, obviously. Christian Harris is a guy they moved around for. They moved around for John Mechie. That obviously didn't work out for them. They moved back and still got Kamari Lassiter. Were able to add assets.
Who's Jalen Petrie-esque? Like, who's Jalen Petrie-esque for Caserio?
Like what do you think of? I think they were taking Breece Hall. I'll take that.
No, I know, I agree, but I mean they could very well have been taking Kool-Aid McKinstry or Dejin. But like Caserio, like if we're talking Caserio picks, I would say on DBs he's got a decent track record. Without DeMeco, like even without DeMeco, I think he's got a decent track record at that. Wouldn't you say? Is that his? Yeah. That's his strength, right? I mean, and I base this on every area that you have to deal with. So he flat out chose Stingley over Sauce Gardner. I think he's okay with that. He pivoted and picked Petrie. I don't consider Petrie some awesome pick, to be honest with you. I think he's fine, but I mean, he's had one solid season in borderline mop-up duty. He had one disastrous season, and he played 10 games at nickel, and he's the highest paid nickel corner in the league. And we'll see how that goes. So I don't like, but the Kamari Lassiter I give a lot of credit for, and the Kalen Bullock I give a lot of credit for. So I would say that he's got a really good history with DBs. I
mean, wouldn't that player be like, if Caserio hit another DB pick, like, isn't he the type of guy that would be, he shows up at camp and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's the third corner. It's not Ronald Darby. Like that kind of be the pick, right?
Oh, like some sort of nickel corner.
Not even a nickel corner as much as just like, oh, if Kamari comes off the field or Stingley comes off the field for whatever reason.
Which, by the way, I don't think is getting enough attention. And I'm guilty of this. I'm as guilty as anyone. I don't think it's something that they're going to entertain in round one, but I do worry about the corner depth 3 down. And that might be a nerdy ass like day 2, day 3 type of thing. But I do have a slight concern for that.
I think the Caserio styled pick would be a guy that clearly is going to be cornerback 3 in case Kamari or Derek Stingley aren't on the field, or it's a later selection and it's a guy that can cover from the slot because Petrie can't cover from the slot.
Oh gosh, Trill's on one today. We appreciate you, my friend, on the soup.
You ain't never hate.
Swarm.
Who's asking about Tank first on Monday?
You want to say the name at the same time on 3?
1, 2, 3.
Will.
Yeah. Get an update on Tank.
I know it's been, 3.5 weeks since we talked to you. You have an update on Tank?
You got a Tank update? It's been a whole 5 days since I last got a Tank update. Can I get a Tank update, please? Trade DP for a 4th. Wishful thinking. Thanks for the updates to the goods. Thank you. Yeah, Damien Pierce. I don't even know if you could get a 6th.
Damien Pierce has no value in a trade.
Yeah, he has 0 value for a trade. None.
Because we don't even know. We also don't even know, like, because again, Nick Caserio gave him a lot of praise for his special teams usefulness the other day when he talked about him. We have no idea if that's going to be replicable again. They're changing the kickoff again. Like they're changing the way it operates. So we don't even know if that's replicable.
It's weird because it's also weird when you're looking at prospects where it's like you'll read like the scouting reports or whatever, or the summaries, and it's like he averaged 21.6 yards per return. And I'm like, okay. He averaged 28.9 yards. I'm like, does that translate?
The punters are so good now.
I'm talking about kick return, not even punt return.
But what I'm saying is the punters are so good right now, and the kickoff has been murdered by this rule change. It's almost not a factor to me for a player. If they play special teams, I hope they played gunner and were the guy that was out there covering the punts. Like I don't like return prowess to me. It really doesn't help a prospect that much like it used to.
Oh, so you like my boy Dominic from Georgia then? I think that's a little bit more impressive than what they got with return men.
Dominic who?
The receiver guy. What is his last name? How am I not getting that? The one that dropped a lot of passes. I don't think he's going to get drafted. What's his name? I sound like John McClain.
That Georgia receiver that dropped all those passes, Dominic Lovett.
Yeah, Dominic Lovett. That's right. Yeah, he's a big Kamari Lassiter guy. I actually asked him about because he's a gunner.
4.4
Yeah,
speed.
He's obsessed with special teams.
Oh, I would tell you that.
Have you met with the Texans?
3. I just called 3 yesterday just to talk to him. You know, that's my guy. And have I met with the Texans? Nah, I haven't. But I would love to though. So, you know, play my boy 3. But I called him yesterday. You know, he had wished me number luck. I had called him because I was feeling a little nervous, and he told me just go out there, have fun is the main thing, and just be myself. So,
yeah, he takes a lot of pride in being a gunner. I could see him as an undrafted guy coming through.
Well, and here's what I would tell you: if you're hoping for 2 wide receivers, that second wide receiver, either Frank Ross needs to be able to teach him special teams, or he has to play special teams already. Because if you're going to get 2 wide receivers, like they have to have those guys as gunners. Like the roster crunch is going to be to a point where you're going to need the 5th, 6th wide receiver to help you on special teams some way.
And I think there's some confusion in the chat. Like nobody here is saying that the return is dead. It's just different. Like, so like even like the format, the way in which
they're changing the alignment of the players.
Yeah, more returns. It's a different, like it's not the same as college. It's way different.
There might be more returns. There might be less profitable returns.
Well,
we have no idea.
We also like they've never returned in the format. So it's not like a direct comparison. So you've never seen them do it. Like it's literally they even like, so it was funny to watch them do it at the Senior Bowl. Like they kind of did it for like a day and then they didn't do it anymore. And then they used normal kickoff in the Senior Bowl, like in the actual game. Yeah.
And so like the first time these guys are experiencing the new kickoff, because they don't do a ton of that in OTAs, minicamp, stuff like that. They do some, but the first time they're really diving in, digging in is August and July. So it's like, are they any good at it? And then are the guys that were good last year? Did the change in rules, yes, get more returns, but did it make it easier for the defense to make tackles?
Yeah, I don't know how you even measure it. I don't know.
You can't.
It sucks. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it sucks for these kids who are like in college. And I know that the NFL is different than college, but there used to be a time where, well, this guy averaged 27 yards a kickoff return, where it would be like, okay, well, maybe he gets consideration on day 3 or something like that. But now it's like you can't even measure it. You have guys back there trying to do it. Damien Pierce never even returned kicks. He's good at this. He would have been ass like
at the old kickoff.
I mean, he had the one return against the Browns or whatever, but like we didn't know what he would look like. It's just a really tough thing. But that was Dominic Lovett out of Georgia. I think he's a potential undrafted guy they could look at.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I know all the undrafted guys. I don't. There's hundreds of them. Okay. But I feel like I have an idea of some of the undrafted guys a little bit more than past years, especially at wide receiver. There might be some surprises from these undrafted guys. It's gonna be a fun undrafted kind of, frenzy when the draft's over.
There's a couple of special teams guys. I don't think Brew McCoy gets drafted. So like
that's I would make him the highest paid undrafted free agent if I was a team. Like he's got size, height, weight, speed, Tennessee wide receiver. He's older, and I would just
hurt a lot.
I'd get him in the building and hope for the best.
He gets hurt a lot.
Yeah, he does. He does get hurt a lot.
He committed to Texas for like 2 weeks, then went back to USC. No, he committed to USC, then he went to Texas, then he went back to USC, he had to sit out a year, then he played at USC, then he transferred to Tennessee, then he missed a year. Yeah, there's a lot. I challenge you, pull up the Beast and read the Brew McCoy profile. It is like a damn novel. It's like one of the most like up and down roller coasters. Just read the profile. It's like a damn movie. Luis Salas on the super chat.
He's got I just scrolled through it. I'm not reading it.
No, read it. Go ahead.
Most guys get 3 paragraphs.
Yeah, pull it up.
He's got 5 paragraphs.
Pull it up, dude. Luis Salas says, greetings from Denver. Everyone here is wanting Hampton at 20. Doubt he makes this to us at 25. Appreciate you for listening from Denver, my friend. I would probably concur with that.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a hell of a landing spot for Hampton with what Denver's got going and what Sean Payton's got going. And that would be a very good value bet as offensive rookie of the year.
It does feel like Denver's going to have probably 2, maybe 3 guys that fit, that add to their offense line of thinking that they're approaching this draft with.
He's trying to find his Kamara, Sproles. Like it's
like Hampton probably is going to be there. Colston Loveland's probably going to be there. Probably in a great world for them. Like maybe they want Tetero and McMillan there. It's worth noting, Sean Payton has, I think I have this right, has never traded out of the first round. And I think he's only ever traded down in the first round once. So I got to imagine Sean Payton's probably sticking and picking at 20.
Yeah, he wants backs. I don't think he wants just one. I think he might want 2.
Novel concept, huh?
Kind of like his strategy a little bit. That Owen Daniel Jim money.
Owen Daniel Jim money.
From Trill. All right, so you threw this out. We've gone through DeMeco's crushes. Did we miss any? Are there any crushes that you think DeMeco could have? The Kansas City Chiefs, according to Jeremiah, they want to trade up. They did that last year to get Xavier Worthy. Buffalo made the trade with them. Obviously, you have Minnesota drafting right in front of you, and that's probably a prime spot to trade up if you're Kansas City. I think it starts and ends with Minnesota because they only have the 4 picks. But would you trade with the Chiefs?
It's sort of a loaded question because the Chiefs is a more unique situation than, like, if you're the Vikings, would you trade with the Chiefs? Yeah, well, we need the picks. The Chiefs need the exact thing that you need. They need offensive linemen. And they could also use a running back. And if there was a good one there available at 25, do you want to hand the Chiefs Amarion Hampton just so you can get a little extra draft pick capital? And I know that is in no way does it make me think that's the way Nick Caserio would think about it. But the Chiefs got Xavier Worthy because the Bills handed them to him. So it's like, do you want to be that team? Do you want them to draft an O-lineman? You get a different guy?
I don't want to give them Chris Jones' replacement if they want to trade up for Nolen. I would be disgusted with that. But,
no.
But, I mean, you got to look at it like you're getting some of what you want too. So I don't think you really overthink it there. And the other thing the Texans have is, again, if they don't trade with you, they'll just trade with the Vikings and they'll call it a day. So, yeah, I would be willing to trade back how many ever spots with Kansas City if –
KC's got 63 and 66 in addition to 31.
Okay. I could, yeah.
Would you? Ooh. Okay. Let me. All right. You're Nick Caserio. I'm Veach, the Kansas City guy. I call you. Hey, let's do 31, 63 and 66. And then, you guys send us 25 and 58.
No, we're not trading you 58.
You move back 5, but you also get a pick 10 picks later. So now you have.
I like pick swaps. We can do like a swap for the 61, 66. We'll give you our.
All right. So 31 and 66 for 25 and 79.
Sure. We'll do that.
I'd try to make it 89. So then you'd have 31, 58, 66, 79. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah, we'll do that. There you go. Nice doing business with you, sir. And then you move back and
I'm going to need a future 7th too.
Okay. All right. The old Caserio special.
And then we're going to swap 6 rounds.
And then they're going to draft a Hall of Famer, and it's going to extend Patrick Mahomes' career. And we're going to be talking about why the hell do you trade with the Chiefs as Patrick Mahomes throws Xavier Worthy touchdowns, courtesy of the Buffalo Bills, and whoever the hell they draft is like the
blocking.
Other,
he's like the next Joe Tooney.
Yeah. So There you go. That's the dangers of the rich getting richer. So it's tough. People do it. And quite frankly, sometimes beggars can't be choosers if you're kind of where the Texans are. And hopefully the Texans get to a point where they're, trade up and get one guy and make one impact type of way. If they continue to do this, we'll figure this out. So, yeah, that's kind of where that mindset is. Before we get out of here, and it is the week before, we're less than a week in, I should say. The week of begins in 2 days. Irv Smith has re-signed. We already touched on this in the Super. Did you cover it? Like, what do you want to know? He sucks. Like, maybe he's on there. What do you think the odds are that he's on the team?
0.
Yeah, like it's not. Irv Smith impacts nothing. He impacts no draft plans. And by sucks, maybe that's a little bit dramatic, but no, there's no impact there. We'll see what happens. Maybe he competes at camp with Brevin Jordan and the other guys, but like, do you think that if the Texans get to the 3rd round or something like that and they really like Arroyo, they're going to say, oh shit, we really like this guy and think that he can make some plays, but we just signed Irv Smith to a vet minimum deal. No, that's not, he's a camp body. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if he makes the team, then something
I'll have a lot
happened.
of thoughts on it.
Yeah, something horrible happened to somebody else.
Yeah. Or they just like him and they want to move around.
What's the point of the signing? You take 90 guys to work in July. That's the point of the signing.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with him. Irv Smith.
I mean, they had 3 tight ends on the roster before they added him. So, I mean, you're going to have 6 or 7 at that position come training camp time.
Yeah. How old is he, man? How many teams has he been on in this short of a time?
I think the Texans are only like his 3rd team. Right?
I know it's Minnesota.
Irv Smith was like a weird, like fantasy football analysts were like, Irv Smith breakout year.
He had one good game too. He had like 1-2 touchdown game.
Vikings for 4 seasons, Bengals for a season. He was on the practice squad for the Chiefs, and then the Texans had him.
Okay, so there you go. Got it. Irv Smith, no impact, none. So that's
Flip it. When he catches a touchdown in the Super Bowl, play this on the highlight reel.
Yeah, don't listen to me about tight ends. I was the head of the Tegan Quintariano might have some club. So, yeah, take everything that I say, not with a grain of salt, with the whole freaking salt shaker of it.
Let ye who has not been fooled by a tight end cast the first stone.
Facts. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Before we get out of here, C-Film wants to know, what pizza toppings are you getting on day 3? Live, by the way, at Karbach, the Biergarten, draft party, 11 a.m. What toppings are you getting? You say, all right, so it's pineapple and what else?
I'm not getting pineapple.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting I'm getting their barbecue pizza. It's got brisket on it.
Oh, brisket pizza?
Oh, I'm sorry. Does that sound like a bad thing?
Yes.
Okay, well, you're an idiot. You think brisket's not good, so you're just dumb.
I don't think brisket's not good. I think there's some brisket people that kind of make it a little bit annoying with how much they talk about it.
Okay, well, have you ever had a barbecue pizza?
Brother.
Have you ever had a barbecue pizza with?
Brother.
Have you ever had a barbecue pizza with chicken on it?
Like, I don't order the whole pie. Like, if I'm at a buffet or someone gets a slice, I'll try a buffalo chicken. I'm not ordering it the whole pie. So, all right, let me get this. Let me get this hot shot, Mr. Texas. And I know you got your Texas Pride koozie with you. Where does brisket rank on the meats? Like, what, like, power rank it? Like, if you can get anything, where does brisket rank? Because I don't know when it happened, when everybody started acting like they're just the best brisket cookers of all time. It's fine, but just power rank it. Where's it going?
At a barbecue restaurant or at like
a barbecue restaurant? Let's pretend everything is top of the line. Everything is top of the line. Where's brisket coming into play?
Oh, well, if it's everything's top of the line, I'm getting brisket.
You're getting brisket ahead of ribs.
Yes.
Okay.
If everything's top of the line, I'm getting brisket. The reason brisket gets overrated is what you said. Everybody thinks they have the best brisket when everybody doesn't have the best brisket.
But even then, I'm getting ribs. I'm getting sausage.
If everything is the best, then I'm getting brisket.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I think you're in the minority on this one.
That's enough. So you're taking the best brisket over the best ribs.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Take the best
wow.
brisket over the best ribs 10 times out of 10.
No, I'm taking the ribs. God, the ribs. You kidding? The elite ribs. Okay. Ashton says, is there a chance Jake Majors is our next center? God, you missed the Jake Majors portion. There's a chance, sure. I think they're going to like him. I don't know when he's going to go. They did visit with him. So, yeah, and I find it hard to believe that Nick Caley and Cole Popovich are huge fans of what Juice Scruggs and Jared Patterson have done at the starting center position the last 2 years. Not saying that they like or dismiss it, but I doubt that they're like pounding the table. This is our starting center. I don't think
there will be competition for those guys.
Yeah, they have no attachment to him, so there's no love with it. So you're getting a lot of brisket love, but I just think if it's the best, if it's the ribs, the best, the sausage too. Like honestly, sausage too. Maybe turkey. Chicken, chicken's kind of the same all over. I don't even know if like when you go to a barbecue place and like the chicken gets gassed up, I don't even know that it's better than the baked chicken at HEB. Like I don't get it's chicken at barbecue place is usually a half chicken. It's not dry,
easy to eat.
Yeah, it's not
like when I get turkey, which is obviously another fowl. It's a turkey breast.
Wow.
It's juicy.
How's it a fowl? It's a good choice.
Fowl, FOWL, as in like it's a bird.
Oh, I've never heard that term.
You don't know what a fowl is?
No. I know what a foul ball is. I know what a personal foul is. I've never called a bird a foul.
Okay.
That's where do they do that?
I don't
is
know.
That like your hipster ass like cooking shows? Fowl? FOWL. Obviously a turkey's another fowl.
What was I another bird? Would that have been a better way to say it for the common folk?
All right. Appreciate everyone for coming through. Landry Locker, Chef Aaron May here on S&L.
Chef, get your vocabulary up. How about that?
Foul? I've never said foul in my life. Ever.
That's great. I taught you something today. You walk away with something new today.
I was an English minor. I've never said foul. I'll be honest with you. I've never said foul. Never heard it. I guess it's domesticated birds. Mr. Benjamin hit me with it. Okay. Fowl has been a term for birds and owls for like 3,000 years. I'm getting an education here. Fowl. It's a hunting term. Okay. I didn't know you were a hunter.
You don't have to be something to talk about it.
So do you call it Kentucky fried fowl?
No.
Do you ever say I'm going to eat some fried fowl?
No.
Do you prefer to fry or bake the fowl on Thanksgiving? I'm going to start using fowl for everything.
Okay. You're going to put me in a foul mood if you do that. Which it's Friday at 5:00. You're trying to Kentucky F up my weekend, being a jerk because you don't know a word.
How many foulies did Rory McIlroy have when he won the Masters last week?
Yeah, people don't call birdies foulies. You're just.
No, you educated me. I appreciate you for educating me. I really do. Foul, fair or foul? I'm very much appreciated. Thank you. What do you got going on, dude? What are you doing in the hotel? What's popping? Let the people know.
I'm in Dallas to hang out with my college roommate.
Okay, there you go. All right. Subscribe, like, right along. Always remember when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
No matter which fowl you select to eat good, sleep good, be good. We'll talk Texans again soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.
I'd like to buy a fowl. Wheel of